Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Dr. Wright Breaks It Down for You. My name is Jessica, and I'm here with my dad, as always, Dr. Wright. Hey, Dad.
Hi, Jess.
So, this week's podcast is about fluoride. I was doing some research on drinking water. A lot of cities claim that they have the best tasting drinking water, and I noticed that a lot of them have fluoride in the water, and that kind of surprised me. I know that fluoride is in toothpaste, but it just seems kind of a bold choice to put in the water supply. So, Dad, I was wondering if you could talk to me about what is fluoride?
You know, you put it really well. It was a bold choice. It was very radical, the idea that you're going to put an additive into the water supply. All it really comes down to is that fluoride is a really cool chemical that protects your teeth and makes them stronger. And that's what it is. It's a chemical that strengthens the enamel of your teeth.
Huh. How does it work?
To really understand the influence of the fluoride on tooth decay, you've got to first understand what makes up the tooth. Now, the tooth enamel is constructed of a very hard material called hydroxyapatite. And these are crystals. And what's really fascinating is the living cells actually ooze this out like sweat, and it crystallizes. Really, really cool. It really is. They put out this hydroxyapatite material, and that's made of calcium, phosphorus, and hydroxide, and that hydroxide is an important part. This hydroxyapatite crystal, they act like bricks that make up a large wall, which is your tooth surface. Now, the hydroxide part of the crystal is the weak part, and it's found on the outside of the tooth crystals. This hydroxide aspect is like a windshield on a car. It's part of the whole thing, but it's fairly fragile. Mm-hmm. And it's this hydroxide part, like the windshield, that can be easily damaged and broken down by cavities and by germs and things. If we don't clean our teeth, and if we eat too much sugar, the germs in our mouth can create acids that will attack the hydroxide part of our hydroxyapatite crystals and just destroy the teeth.
And fluoride helps with this?
Yes. Back in about 1909, there was these great dental researchers. One guy was G.V. Black, and the other guy was named Frederick McKay. Now, these guys were really smart, and what they found was, in Colorado, near Colorado Springs, all these people had these really dark, mottled, ugly teeth. And they wanted to see why that was and see if they could help them out. Sure enough, when they got there, the teeth were ugly as heck. But what was really interesting is they had absolutely no cavities. For some reason, whatever caused these teeth to look so bad made them as strong as bricks. So what they found was the well water near this town had lots and lots of fluoride. What the fluoride did is it went in there, made the teeth stronger and ugly. Well, these guys thought, man, what if we could get the right amount of fluoride so the teeth stayed pretty, but they still had this immunity to cavities? Wouldn't that be cool? So after years of study, they figured out that they could reduce the amount of fluoride so that the teeth would remain beautiful while being strong. What happened was the fluoride came in, pushed out that hydroxide, that weak part, and actually replaced it. It's kind of like putting bulletproof glass on that windshield. So now the hydroxyapatite turned into fluorohydroxyapatite, and now the tooth enamel was really, really strong. So by adding fluoride, what it did is it took out the weak aspect of the crystal and fortified it. And actually, not only did it make it where the tooth was less apt to get a cavity, if you had tiny cavities or small cavities, it would actually seal them up, which is amazing if you think about it.
Wow.
And it was really a phenomenal thing. So dentists started putting goop on people's teeth. I did the same thing back in the 80s and 90s, and I would put fluoride on kids' teeth to help them not get cavities and to seal up little incipient or very early cavities.
Huh. So when did they decide to put it in the water supply?
In about 1940, 1945, they said, you know, this is so cool at fixing cavities, what if we put it in the water supply? And by 1990, 60% of the whole United States had fluoride in the water. And they say that it reduced tooth decay by 20 to 40%.
Wow.
The American Dental Association and the U.S. Public Health Service and the American Academy of Pediatrics and the World Health Organization all said it was a great thing to do. As a matter of fact, the Center for Disease Control said that of the 10 greatest public health achievements, putting fluoride in water was one of the top 10. And so this is how excited they were that we're really going to slow down tooth decay and keep people healthier. I think it's phenomenal.
Wow.
But hold on a second. How much fluoride is right, and should we be drinking it? Because there comes a point when you get enough from your toothpaste.
Is there a lot of fluoride in toothpaste then?
You know, there is and there isn't. There's 0.2% or 900 parts per million or 1,000 parts per million or 1,200. It fluctuates near there. I'm making that Vortex color-changing toothpaste, and so I want the minimum amount, and so I put 900 parts per million, which is the absolute minimum you can put in there and still get what they call efficacy, or the fact it's going to work. The bottom line is fluoride's important to fight against tooth decay, and too much is bad. If you have a child who's under 2 years old, you really shouldn't give them fluoride toothpaste unless your dentist tells you should. Kids younger than 6 should be careful because they shouldn't swallow too much toothpaste. They should always spit it out. And you should only use a small amount of toothpaste on your toothbrush for the kids.
You said children under 2 should not use fluoride toothpaste. They can still drink the water and it's safe, even though the water has fluoride in it.
There's the controversy. I think fluoride is safe. I think it's safe in the water. If you have any questions, you can always check your municipality, and they actually have an outline of how much fluoride is in the water. And I think it's 1 part to 2 parts per million is acceptable.
Oh, wow. So that's really much lower than the fluoride in your toothpaste.
Oh, clearly. There's a very, very scant amount. Some people say that the fluoride in water does absolutely nothing to make your teeth stronger. It's the fluoride the dentist puts on or the fluoride in your toothpaste that is really important. The American Dental Association will not accept any toothpaste without fluoride in it because it's so critical. So
Wow.
There's a debate going on, and I'm sure it'll keep on going on. But I have found in my own practice and in my own life that fluoride has really helped out a lot.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Dad, for researching all of that and getting all that information for us. All right, everyone, that concludes our podcast for this week. Tune in next week. We'll have another delightful topic on the wonders of the universe. All right, thanks so much, Dad.
Thanks, Jess. Bye now.
Bye.